Hi everybody, welcome to my platform. This is Sichamba Jacob. I've got a question with me right over here where we need to find the value of x. You can see x is here and it's also here. So before we answer this question, we need to understand some properties, okay, which we shall use in the answering of this question. So these are the three properties. Hopefully you can see. These are the three properties. Okay, so let me just talk about them a little bit. So the first property says that when you've got powers and those powers are being added, so you can see we're adding the powers here. It means the bases are the same and those bases were being multiplied. So this law of indices says that when you're multiplying the same bases, you add the powers. This is what it means. And this is the property we are going to use at this point. Okay, so the next property, property 2 and property 3. So for property 2, what it means is that when you have got a power raised to a power, these two things can be switched. So you've seen the way I've switched, and this is called commutative. You can switch them for as long as you are multiplying. Property number 3. Property number 3 says that when you've got power raised to power, it means you are multiplying. You can multiply this times this. It will give us this. That's what it means. Even here, so this and this are just the same. So these two properties will be used at this point. The first property will be used at this point. Hopefully, you've gotten one or two things out of this explanation. All right, so now here, to answer the question, of course, you can see, to answer our question here, we shall start by applying property number 1. So we maintain 9 power x minus a 4. Property number 1 says that this base power x is being multiplied by the same power 1. Okay, that's what property number 1 says. Okay, so we shall maintain what is this side. 27 is equal to a 0. So now from here, from this point, we can of course simplify. Okay, so we shall have 9 power x minus a 12 multiplied by 3 power x plus 27 is equal to a 0. Okay, hopefully somebody is following. I've just done the multiplication here, multiplying this by this. We know that there's a power 1 here. So these two can be multiplied because of the brackets. But for this one, we'll just leave it like this because the powers are different. There's x, there's power 1 here. So we just leave it the way it is. Okay. So now, we have now reached the point where we need to use property number 2 and 3. So we shall start with the property number 2, where we're going to write this as 3. Okay, 3. Hopefully you can see 3 power 2 power x. So we know that 3 power 2 is the same as 9. So this will be written in this form using this property, where this will just be 3 power x. Okay, and here a power 2. 3 power x power 2, you just switch them like that. And this is what we need, is what we're going to write at this point. Okay, so let me write it. That is 3 power x and the power 2 right over here. Okay, will be equal minus 12, and then here we have 3 power x plus 27 is equal to a 0. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So now, this is what we wanted for us to answer. So we shall identify what is similar. So if you're able to see, what is here is similar to what is right here. So all these will substitute some other letter here on these two. So we shall say, I'll use a different marker because this point is very important. Let y be equal to 3 power x. If you want, you can say let k be equal to one of these. If you want, you can say let m, whichever letter you want. So me, I've said y because I want to come and solve this letter because of the power x. So I'll put y here. So let's see the way it will look. So all this thing will be y power 2, because here there is a power 2, y power 2 minus 12 y plus 27 is equal to a 0. So you see, I've substituted here. You can see where there's 3 power x, I've substituted the y, and this is what we have. Even here, I've substituted the y, this is what we have. So we've now gotten a quadratic equation which we need to solve. So we can solve this quadratic equation by factorization method. Okay, so this is factorization method. I'm not going to talk much about how to solve a quadratic equation. So you can do your research on how to solve the quadratic equation by factorization method. So this is how it will look like. This is how it will look like. Very beautiful. This is how it will look like. So you can see from this point we can say y minus 3 is equal to a 0, or y minus 9 is also equal to a 0. So meaning we've got two y values. So the y values we have here are y is equal to a 3 or y is equal to a 9. So those are the two y values. But the question wants us to find to solve for x. So we shall say 3 is equal to 3 power x. So this 3, you write it here. So it will look like this. We know that there's a power 1 here, 3 power 1. And the laws of indices, when the bases are the same, you add the powers. I mean, you equate the powers. So we shall say x is equal to a 1 using the laws of indices. So this is one of the solutions. The other one, we shall write 9 is equal to 3 power x. We write a 9 here, right over here. 9 is equal to 3 power x. Balance the bases. This is what we are getting. And in this case, since the bases are the same, we can say x is equal to a 2. So the two solutions for this equation are 1 and a 2. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe. Follow me on my Facebook page if you have not done so. This is Sichamba Jacob, and bye-bye.